Hi everyone, my name is Sophia Rizzo and welcome to Gorejeious. You guys have all been requesting a tutorial on how I make my fake blood. So today, since we hit 14K, I'm going to be making a tutorial on how to make edible, homemade, fake blood using only 3 ingredients. So let's get to it. Alright, so for the first step, you're going to need to get all your supplies together so we can make this edible fake blood. So for the first ingredient, you are going to need corn syrup. Or if you don't have corn syrup, you can use honey. Either or works. Corn syrup just dries and makes the blood a different texture and makes it dry. But if you want to use honey, that works too. It's just a little bit more sticky. You're also going to need food coloring. So you're going to need red and blue food coloring. And then for the last step, if you want your blood to be thicker, you're going to need flour if you want more thicker scab blood. But if you don't want it to be super thick, then you don't need to add the flour. The flour is optional. I'm just going to use the flour so I can make it super thick and gross. When creating fake blood, you are going to be using corn syrup as the base. So I'm only making a little bit of fake blood, so I'm going to use just a cap size full of corn syrup. But if you want to make more, you can pour more. It's kind of like a feel it out type process. So I'm going to just pour a little cap full. And then I am going to pour my cap size into here, into my container. For the next step, you are going to be taking your red food color. I'm using gel, but you can use any type. And you're going to be adding it to your corn syrup. Now this part's a little bit tricky because you really want to get the colors correct. So the color I'm using for the blood is a really thick, dark color blood. So I'm going to mix it with a little bit of blue, but I want to add more red than blue. So my ratio is normally like for every 3 drops of red, I'm going to add 1 drop of blue. I'm currently using gel, so I'm going to just pour a lot of red and then I'll just pour a tiny bit of blue. So this is our red. Now that I have my red in here, I'm going to mix it before adding the blue. So I'm mixing my red. So your color is kind of like this color. So it's a very reddish color. And I just want it to be a little bit darker. So I'm going to add only 1 drop of blue. So now I have my blue dye. I'm going to only add 1 drop because you don't want it to turn purple. I'm not using liquid though, so I'm going to add only a tiny bit. Like 1 or 2 squirts. So it is only a tiny bit of blue. And now I'm going to mix it, and it's kind of like a feel it out ratio. So you're going to just keep mixing until you have your desired color. I think this color is good. This is the color that I was hoping for. So it's like a really darkish red. And now, because it's so liquidy, I want it to be thick scab blood, so we're going to add flour into it. Alright, now I have my classic baking flour. And I'm going to pour, I've already poured some in, but it's kind of also like a ratio mix. So you're going to just put as much in to your desired thickness. So now I'm mixing my flour in, and it's starting to become thicker. So as I mix it, it starts to become thicker, but I want it to be super thick because it is scab blood. So it's going to go into fake wounds to be scab blood, but this is like our color. So I'm going to put a little bit more flour. And I have now my flour in, and I'm going to keep mixing it. So it becomes a very thick fake blood, so I can just put it on and it's like scabbed. So we're mixing it. Alright, so I think this is how thick I want it to be. And when you put it on a wound, I'll show you what it looks like, what the blood looks like. It's also edible, so I can just eat it. It's just really sweet. And when I put it on a wound, this is what it will look like. So it's just a little bit of fake blood. And this is what our fake blood looks like. It looks pretty real. So yeah. This is how you make edible fake blood. And you can just eat it. It might stain your tongue red though. Okay. Alright everyone, this is our final product, our edible, fake, realistic scab blood. Comment down below and let me know what else you guys like to see. Bye everyone. Make sure to like and subscribe.